anywhere. So what I was saying, that you understand this deadlock situation?
So why the last thing I heard is that the first thread will use this one method, and the second thread will use another resource. And once the first thread wants to use R2, it will be already used by T2, so it will wait for it.
Yep.
Then T2 will want to use R1, and in that case, it will be used by T2.
Yeah. So consider again. Yeah, you are almost right. So T1 started with R1, but he need R2 later. T2 started with R2. He need R1 later. So as we know, both thread is working together. CPU is not going to wait for thread 1 that saying that you complete full execution, then I will be start T2. There is nothing like that. Every thread starts independently. So here T1 started with R1, T2 started with R2. After some time, T1 realized that I need a R2. But T2 is saying, I'm sorry, I'm using the R2. And after some time, T2 realized that, hey, I need R1 to complete my execution. But R1 is already used by T1. So now this T1 thread will tell, hey, give me the R2 so that I can complete my execution. T2 will say, I'm sorry, first give me the R1, then I will complete my execution. But like this way, if you see, both threads are waiting for each other. And the situation will never be finished. You got the point?
Yes. So in this case, how to
Deadlock.
avoid it?
This is deadlock. That's all. Your thread are blocked. Until or unless you will kill your JVM, you will not able to solve this problem.
So, normally to avoid it, we should not launch the two resources 2 times, or what
Yeah.
normally we do.
What is the solution? I will be giving you. Okay. So this is the problem you understood, right? What is the problem? Now, how we can avoid this? This is another question. So here I can give you a visualization in a little bit class B here. And under this class B, you have a void test1. Okay, this is also having some piece of code to execute. So now, if I write a proper way, then what exactly it will be? Internally, somewhere, this guy is going to call b1 dot test1. Okay, and this guy is going to call somewhere b1 dot a1 dot test. Same thing I'm trying to replicate here so that you will be understanding by code how it's gonna be happen. Okay, so let's try understand. It's very, very important. Now, what I gonna do is B1 with B. T1 started with this one, and T2 is started with B1, which is a test one. Now you can visualize it better. Let me help you to understand how this is. Okay, look at this. If you want to execute this test method, what you need? Need a class object, right? And inside this test method, what you are doing? You are using the B1. You are calling the B class method, so you need B1 object also, right? So to complete executing this test method, you needed two objects. One is from A class, one is from B class. Clear?
Yes.
Now think about this method. Whoever want to execute this test one, again he needed two objects. One B class object to call this test one method, and internally you are calling the A class test method. So what you need? A class object as well.
Mhm.
Right or not?
Yes.
Now, so what we did, we created a two object, one for A class, one for B class. Now T1 thread started with A1, right? He got a
Yes.
A1 object first time, very happy. He started executing. He has executed till this line. Imagine line number 77, he has executed. Immediately, CPU is saying, hey, you need to wait now. I have to start the other thread. CPU came and is saying, hey, T2, you can also start. What
Mhm.
T2 thread need?
Mhm.
B1 object, because he's calling the test1 method. He started with the test1. So one object is with T1, another object is with the T2. Try matching with this. R1, R2 is
Mhm.
nothing but your A1 and B1
Yes.
object. Okay.
So, so to avoid it, we should not have a loop of a class calling another class.
No, you cannot stop that because this is your business requirement. You cannot say that. Let's say
Uh-huh.
person class have to access the account class or have to access the balance class. So you cannot
Uh-huh.
stop that, right? Think about the other scenario, but try understanding now. So whenever T1 got another chance, now he started resuming the execution. And when he started resuming the execution, he realized that, oh, I need a B1. He came
Mhm.
to look for B1, but B1 is now with whom? T2. After some time, even T2 realized that, oh, I need a A1. He came for A1, but A1 is with which thread? T1. Now both threads are locked. So here I shown you by diagram. Here I
Mhm.
show you by the code. Same problem.
Mhm.
Now I will give you solution. So these threads are blocked.
Mhm.
This is the deadlock in code wise. Now try understanding. Question is how we can stop that.
Yes.
The very simple thing is that this problems occurs because both thread started simultaneously. If we could stop other thread until or unless T1 has not finished, we can stop the situation. Agree?
Yes.
If I will ask this T2 thread, hey, do not execute until the T1 is completing. That's all. That's the solution.
Mhm.
You should not ask this T2 thread to go and execute their method test1 until or unless T1 has finished. And how we can do that? Very
Wait.
simple. There is a keyword called synchronized. You remember this keyword?
Yes.
Synchronized keyword. Synchronized keyword is something which we need to use wherever there is a chance of deadlock. Here we see the deadlock situation. That is the reason we're going to put a synchronized keyword. Now see what synchronized keyword is doing. How he can avoid. Whenever you use synchronized keyword, what it will do? It will strictly check for a lock, object lock. And every object is having a single object lock.
Yes.
Until or unless you don't have an object lock, it will not allow you to do so. So whenever A1 start executing, I mean T1 start executing test1, what it will do? It will check, hey, do you have an object lock of A1 and B1? Because internally we are using that, right? T1 is saying, yes, I have a both object lock, A1 and B1. Then synchronized keyword will immediately take this two lock and it will tell to this T1 thread, okay, welcome to the execution. What he did, he blocked this A1 and B1 both lock. He's saying
And
that
then,
since inside my class, you need a A1 object lock and B1 object lock. Both object lock I need. Then only you will be allowed to insert into my section. So A1 and B1, both thread, I mean A1 and B1 object lock is with a synchronized keyword. Think like a synchronized keyword is a gatekeeper. When you are going any pub or any hotels, what exactly this is to check? Your tickets, right? whether you have a
Yes.
tickets or not. If you have a tickets, it will allow. If you don't have tickets, it will not allow. Simply consider this object is having a lock called object lock. Each object
Mhm.
is having a lock. So whenever any thread came to execution, synchronized keyword will check that lock. Do you have that lock? If you yes, then welcome to this execution. If you don't have lock, I'm sorry, you have to wait. So what it will do, if someone is not having object lock, it will ask that thread, go and wait.
Right. Yes.
So another thread when came to execution here, his let's say here T2 thread is coming for execution. So what it will ask? It will ask go for wait. You don't have object lock. Let the other thread finish their execution. He will release the thread. He will release the lock, and once you have the object lock, you come and execute our methods. So let's say T1 got a first time chance. We cannot predict that, right? Which thread will be starting first? That is also one of the tricky question. Someone can ask
Mhm.
you which thread can execute first. You can say there is no guarantee which thread will start first.
Mhm.
So any of this thread will be starting first. In that situation, T1 thread, let's for a timing, let's say T1 has started. He have a both lock A1 and B1. This object lock will be seized. And meanwhile, if T2 is coming to this B execution, what it will take? It will be checked for object lock, but T2 is not having any object lock. So synchronize keyword will tell this T2 go and wait. And once your execution is completed, let's say T1 has completed that execution, at the end, you have to notify. So it makes sense, right? If somebody is
Yes.
waiting for you, after some time, you have to go and tell them, okay,
Not.
tell me what is the problem? Something like that. If you are asking
Mhm.
someone to wait in your reception, then he will be waiting until unless you are coming to him and saying, okay, tell me what is the problem. So exactly the moment this execution is completed, T1 thread will go and notify to whom? It will notify the other waiting thread, that is T2. It will tell, hey, I have completed my execution. I have released the A1 lock and B1 lock. Go and start executing. And
Mhm.
this is how the thread communication is happening.
Yes. It's clear.
Understood or not?
Yes. Yes.
It's a very, very important concept. Okay, so this question might ask in a different way is what is inter-thread communication? Communication. What is inter-thread communication? So remember, they want to understand how you can avoid the deadlock. Got
Mhm.
it? So this is the resolution of deadlock. Understood, Sana? This is very, very important. If you have a doubt, please ask me. I can clarify you.
It's clear for me.
Yeah.
And no. Yeah.
So now one more situation is there. Let's say this method is a static. So for a static method, you don't need object, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
just like a object log, there is a class log.
Okay.
So calling a static method, you need a class name, right? So just like object log,
Yes.
there is a class log. Synchronized keyword will be still there. Now question is, if you put a synchronized keyword, what will be? Synchronized keyword will be making your processing slow. Obviously, right? If this method is
Yes.
just synchronized, it means it will not allow multiple thread to execute at the same time. That is the reason
Mhm.
it will be sequential, and something is sequential, it means it is just slow. So that can be added. You must be heard about the array list and vector.
Yes.
So what is the difference between array list and vector? Because array list is not thread safe. When you say it is not thread safe, it means there is a chance of deadlock. But
Okay.
vector is a synchronized. It means it is thread safe. Means there will be no deadlock condition. But at the same time, vector will be slow, array list will be faster. Why it is
It's,
slow? Whichever is just synchronized, there is an additional check happening. If this method is just synchronized, it means what? Each thread, there is a procedure. Synchronized keyword will do their formalities. For example, let's say in your receipt, you are running a restaurant, and you ask the people on your gate, security guard, you ask them, hey, you have to follow these rules. What are these rules? Rule is, first check whether the person is wearing mask or not, he has been sanitized or not, what is the temperature of this guy, what kit he is
Mhm.
wearing, whether he holds something or not. So you have a list of procedure to check for each person coming to your restaurant. And another side, another restaurant is there, they are saying no check, welcome. So which will be faster? Who is fasting? Who is serving fast? Obviously, they are not checking anything, right? So here, the
Yes.
similar things. Synchronized keyword is checking everything. Do you have object lock? Yes. How many object lock you have? Okay,
Mhm.
fine. Submit it. He will do lots of things, right? So because of
Yes.
that, the thread processing or execution will be slow. But whichever is not synchronized, no check, come and execute. So obviously, it will be quite faster. So whenever these questions came to you, synchronized, directly understand it is thread safe, means there is no problem. Now what is the benefit with checking the mask, sanitizer, everything? They are making sure that their customers are 100% safe. There will be
Mhm.
no any
Exactly.
infection, right? It
Mhm.
will be 100% safe restaurant. Whichever
Mhm.
restaurant is not checking all these things, there is a risk, right? Someone can
Yes.
infect it. Similarly here
Yes.
also. So if it is a synchronized, it means it is a check, and check in the sense they are giving you guarantee that there will be no deadlock situation.
Yes.
Yes, I'm slow, but I will be giving you guarantee I will be not allowing a deadlock situation. Whichever is not synchronized, they are saying, yeah, I'm fast, but there is a chance of deadlock. Understood or not?
Yes. Yes.
Everything is related so now. So with that, we have to frame three, four more questions. What are those questions? What is
Synchronous.
synchronized keyword? Right? This is the
Yes.
one question. What is object lock?
And class law.
What is class lock? Right? What else?
Yes. Mhm.
What is the use of wait,
And multiple.
wait, notify, and notify all method? So we talked about the notify. We didn't talk about
Uh-huh.
the notify all. I will also tell you what is this notify all. Okay. So this is another question. So think about this situation. One second, Sana. Yeah. So think about the situation where currently I saw you the two thread, but it's not always the case. There might be a many thread, right? Waiting for
Yes.
log. So in that situation, you have to use the notify all. You don't need to
Okay.
use
So
notify. Yeah.
notify we use it only for one thread and
Yes,
all.
you got it. Notify will only notify any of the waiting thread, and
Mhm.
notify all will be notify all the waiting thread. Now, when I learned this, I was having a doubt, thinking that it doesn't matter notify or notify all. It is going, if I have a object lock only two, then at a certain time only one thread will be executing. Then what is the use of notify all? But think about the situation. In real time, what is the resource? It is actually a real time object. Think about the printer. Okay.
Yes.
So inside your program, after processing, you are printing the something. You might have a single printer, right? So each thread is coming and going in the printer work. He's doing printing. Meanwhile, if another thread is coming for printing purpose, what synchronized keyword is saying? Wait, one thread is completing the printing process. But there might be a situation where you have a many printer, right? You have added 2, 3 more printer. In that situation, at a one time, you can start executing many threads. So that time you have to use notify all.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So this is the questions. What else? One more important questions come here. That is why? Why wait, notify all methods are in which class? Object class. Got the point? So you notice that these wait, notify all is not a part of thread class. It is a part of which class? It is a part of object class, which is a supermost class in Java. Remember?
Yes.
So why it is so? Because the answer is pretty simple. It is a supermost class for every class. And we don't want the same thread should work the wait, notify all commands. We want someone have to do this. It can be called by any thread. If wait, notify all is inside a particular thread class, then each wait, notify and notify all will be called by that object only. But I want this have to be available for each thread. And
It makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, so that is the reason it is inside this. So very cool. See how many questions are clear once you
Yes.
learn these things. And now you can answer the interviewer in this way. If they are asking you to type it, you explain them. And trust me, they will be more happy. Fine. So with that, we are done with the thread side. What else? Let's talk about the now. After thread, we have some questions related to one more question is there. Let me frame that. What is the difference between synchronized method and synchronized block? Actually, it's not CH. Okay, there's something called synchronized block also. You know or not, I don't know, but let me tell you that. So synchronized block is how, like a constructor, you just put inside your method itself. What you will do, you will write synchronized something like this. This is also there. Now they might be asking when to use synchronized method and when to use synchronized block. See, while your whole execution, there will be a single point where you need a waiting or where you want the each thread have to wait to avoid deadlock situation. There is two options: read, write. For reading purpose, do you need synchronization? Answer is
No.
no, because no one is going to stop that. Let's 100 million thread read at one time, I don't have any problem. When you need to
Yes.
synchronize, when there is a write operation, one thread has write anything, another thread has write another things. So in database also, think about that. If they have not handled the write operation in a synchronized way, then what could be? One thread is trying to update the row number 1, and at the same time another thread is also trying to update the same row number. There will be deadlock situation. So we need a
Yes.
synchronization only during the write operation, not during the read operation. So think about this. Inside your method, you have a lots of code, but that all are not causing the deadlock. But there is a one line of code that is print method, something called print.
Mhm.
You have a lots of code, but at the end, what you have a print method. Okay. And what you
Yes.
did for that, for print method, you put the whole method as a synchronized. You might have a lots of code to execute before print method, and that is safe. That is not cause any deadlock. Only thing you want to save is print method because you have a single printer. So what is the best way here? Best way is that don't put whole method as a synchronized, rather than only put particular method in a synchronized block. Let the other code execute independently. Try
Yes.
understanding.
So
Inside your
it will
method.
be faster.
Mhm.
It will be faster than putting all
Yeah,
the method.
it will be faster.
Okay.
Definitely. That's fine. So if
Yes.
you only save the critical point, then your code will be faster. Let the other thread execute the other codes. Only they are going to wait for a print. But if you put a synchronized keyword on the method level, then even though whatever codes are not causing deadlock, that also not executed.
Mhm.
Getting
Yes.
the point?
Yes.
So everything is having the meaning. Most of the people just learned, but they don't understand the value, when to use synchronized method, when to use
Mhm.
synchronized block. If you found inside your test method, every piece of code is critical. Whatever code you have written, almost 90% code are critical. That can cause you deadlock situation. Then
Mhm.
no need to use synchronized block. Put the keyword on method level itself, because we know that whole code inside this method is a critical section. Understood or not?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So that is your call. When to use synchronized, when to use synchronized block. Okay, let's move with the another question, which is now file handling. So next topic is file handling. File handling also you have a lots of questions, but very rarely people are going to ask. Some questions can come from the file handling is, what is the difference between file reader and buffered reader? You know that?
Um, if I remember, buffer reader is uh, tiny blocks of the file, and file reader. I'm not sure.
That's why I'm here. I will tell you. What is the difference between file reader and buffered reader? By the meaning of buffer, you know buffer? In a YouTube, you have a buffering. What is the meaning of buffering?
Waiting.
Yes.
Mm.
So file reader is going to read character by character. Doesn't matter, you
Mhm.
have a huge file, it will read A, B, you have anything, it will read character by character. And buffered reader will read line by line. It is going to read complete line and then it is going to be processed. That is a major difference. So buffered reader is faster than file reader. And similarly for file writer and buffered writer. Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So it is faster, very simple. File reader is reading line character by character, and buffer reader is reading line by line. You can learn more about this, but that is one of the things to remember. Another thing is coming from the serialization. What is serialization? Do you know what is serialization?
It's the same thing as buffer reader. It's
It,
I remember that it sends chunks of codes of values.
okay. Serialization is very, very important concepts. See, think about that. You have a person class, right? Under person class, you have a ID, name, address, phone number, mobile number, email ID, everything. If I give you that object, what you will do? You will simply say object dot email ID. You will get the email ID. Object dot first name. You will get a first name, because your object is holding the all properties of your class, right? Agree or not?
Yes.
Think about now the Hibernate. In Hibernate, whenever we are trying to insert any record in the database, what exactly we are doing? We are saving the object itself. Save P1. It means automatically the person object will be stored into the database, and internally Hibernate will write an insert query, right?
Yes.
Now, Java system is going to the database. What it is carrying? It is carrying a person object. And going from Java program to database, in the middle, what is this? There is a network. Your data is flowing over the network. From one Java program to the database system, your data is going, and it is going via network. In the middle, there is a network. That is the reason database calling is a costly operation. You are connecting from one system to another system. Now think about, whenever your data is flowing over the network, there is a high risk. What is that risk? In middle, hackers can come and they can steal your data. Let's say you have very
Yes.
sensitive data. In middle, he can come and hack your person object, and he will say, okay, let me see what are the things. Okay, password. Okay, account number. Okay, balance. He can hack all this data before reaching to the database. So what we want? We want to make this data secure. We don't want someone can hack and read this data. That's where the serialization is coming in picture. Whatever Pojo class you're gonna write, the best practice is implement serializable interface. What serializable interface will do? It will convert your object value into byte code, and byte code cannot be read. Even though
Yes.
someone is going to read that, it cannot be read.
Mhm.
And in database also, I told you, whenever you are inserting a record, actually at the end it is going to write into the file only. Database is internally using the file, and file is under which, to whom control? Operating system. So
Yes.
network call plus input output call, both places it is going to be used. That is the reason database writing or connection is very costly, and that is the reason people used to do caching. They don't want to go again and again to the database because it will take lots of time. So we are
Yes.
doing caching of data.
Mhm.
So not only that, let's say you are trying to write a person object into a file. What happened? Again, there is a risk. We cannot write directly object into the file. Someone can directly go and read it. Rather than, what we need to do, we need to convert into byte code. And who will help us? It's a serialization. So there is an interface called serializable interface, which is going to do for you all this work. So how
So
can you
better to,
define? Mhm.
so it's better to use it whenever we want to write into a file of the database.
Exactly, you got the point. That's the main idea. Other than that, there is no use of serialization. So I've written process of writing object state into file. Object state is in binary format in bytecode. It is one of the unsecured operation. To perform the serialization, we need to implement serializable interface. Got it? So
Yes.
whenever you are dealing with the file system, many people are thinking database is not a file system. No, internally it is going to write into a file. So it is at the same time it is a file system. So that's the main purpose. And serializable interface is one of the marker interface. I already told you, marker interface is the one of the interface. They are not having any method inside that. And in Java, you have a many marker interface, but two are majorly serializable and the clonable. These are the two marker interface. Okay. So
Yes.
serialization you understood. Let me write what is marker interface. Marker interface are those interface which is not having any method
Methods.
inside their body. Examples is serializable and clonable. Another questions came here. What is transient keyword? Very important. Okay. Serializable is a object-wise operation. What is object-wise operation? Try understanding with this example. How many attribute you have? Int, boolean, character, double, long, int I, right? These are the member variable of your class. Now, once you
Yes.
create a object, what will be? All the value will be stored in your object because these all are non-static. Once you do a serialization, doesn't matter whatever attributes are there, they all will be serialized because you are doing a object serialization. But someone is saying, hey, I don't want this int I to be serialized. I just want only these values should be serialized. But what is happening? Serialization is saying, no, I am an object wise operation. Whatever your non-static fields are there, I will be doing serialization. But I'm saying, no, no, do everything, but not this int I. So how can we avoid that? Very simple. Using the transient keyword. If you put transient keyword in front of any variable, then your JVM will make sure that this value is not going to be secured or it is not going to be participate in the serialization process. Rest all will be serialized. It means it will be converted into bytecode. Understood or not?
Yes.
So transient keyword is just helping you to not participate in the serialization. Very simple. Now, what is the other approach? As I told you, it is a object-wise operation. So instead of transient, if I make a static, whether it will work? Answer is yes. Serialization is a object-wise operation. So that even if you put a static, it will be out of the object scope. So it will not participate again. But the better approach is use the transient
True.
keyword. Clear?
Yes.
Very good. Now question is, we did the serialization. How can we again read that value? There is something called deserialization. So serialization is to converting the object state into bytecode, and deserialization is again reading that bytecode into a actual value. Clear, Sana? There is an
Yes.
example. You can use that, and we're gonna use the write object method for doing that. So for example, in A class, if you can notice here, we have all these fields, right? And here I am not given any value. So these all are going to take a default value, right? Int is going to
Yes.
take a 0 value, long is taking 0 value, double is 0.0, boolean false, int again, k is going to have a 0. So what I'm gonna do is I created a object and I given the value of all the value. In fact, I also. Can you see that? What is the value of each field? especially the
Yes.
I is having 90, right? Now I am
Mhm.
going to do serialization process. So serialization is going to write the value into this file. So I have created one file with the name of, let me
Uh,
delete this
uh,
existing file. So I'm saying in this file, serialize it and store it. For doing that, you have to use file output stream. With the help of file output stream, you have to create object output stream. And inside object output stream, there is a write object method. So what I'm doing, I'm going to write that A1 object into the file. So let's run this program. Done. Refresh this. You got data serialization. Let me open this. Can you read this? No one can
no.
read this, right? It is secure now. No one can read this. Okay. Now how we can get the original value? There is a deserialization process. Now I'm going to use the object input stream. Object input stream is asking me, okay, give me the where is your file. So I given this file name with the help of file input stream. Now I'm asking this serialization, hey, please give me the object which I have written into the file. So there is a read object method, which will give you
Mm,
the A1 object. Now here is the trick. Try understanding. What value you have given to the I?
90.
90, right? I'm
Mhm.
going to read the value of I also along with the other variable. Let's run this program and see what's happening. Every variable is coming as it is, whatever you have said, but I is coming 0. Why? Because on the top of I, what you have put? Transient
Transient.
keyword. So this guy, even though you put a 90 value here, it is not taken. It is still taken the default value. It has not participated into the serialization, and that is the reason, even though we set the value of I as 90, but it is coming as a 0. That indicates remaining all values is coming. See, L value is 9000, D value is
Mhm.
coming, character value is coming, Boolean value is coming, right? Whatever we set here. Only the I
So,
value is not coming because on the top of I variable I have put transient keyword.
so the better scenario to use transient on variables if we want to exclude internal variables from sending it to outside.
See,
To,
thing is that you need to understand one thing. Serialization is again a very costly operation. There
uh-huh,
is a effort, there is a time. Now inside your class, you have a many variables, 100 variables. But out of that, one variable is a password.
uh,
That is secure, right?
yes.
I want to use password only to be synchronized, serialized properly. Other variables are fine. If someone is going to hack my first name, last name, email ID, I don't care. I don't have any problem. Only password I want to save. That is the reason. In that case, what you have to do is, whichever variable is not very important for you, put a transient keyword. Let the password only without transient.
Mhm.
So with this example, I just want to show you, if you have a many variable and you want only all have to be skip the serialization because it's a costly operation. Unnecessarily, why there is a lots of processing with this I also, even though we know that this is not very secure.
Yes.
Got it? So now the
Yes.
problem is here. One very important problem is there. Even though I want only case should be serialized, but I don't have any option. I have to use transient here, here, lots of problems. That's the reason Java people has introduced one more concept called externalization. you must be you must know this. Externalization. This is again an important questions.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure no one will ask you this because many people don't know what is externalization. What is the difference between serialization and externalization? So just like a serialization, there is one more interface called externalization. It is also one of the marker interface. So what is the problem with this serialization? It is an object-wise operation, right? All attributes are going to be participate.
Yes.
But this guy is an attribute-wise operation. Here you don't have to go with object. Whatever object value you want, you can put only that. I want only these value. Fine. Only these value will be serialized. I want only one variable. Only that will be serialized. So that is the major difference. Got it? So let me write here so that you can understand the answer also. Note.txt. I can write here. Serialization is a object-wise operation, whereas externalization is a
Okay.
attribute-wise operation. So whatever attribute I want, I can only serialize that only. That's all. That's a major difference. Clear?
Yes. Yes.
It's making sense to you, Sana, or is it
Yes.
just
It is.
okay? You must have learned core Java long back, but you must be
Yes.
realizing, oh my god, lots of things I didn't learn.
Yeah.
It's
It's
happened
clear
something.
now.
Okay, and the next questions is coming from the legends topic, and that is nothing but collection framework.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yes.
collection framework is the legend, but I will be continuing this in the next class because I have some truly lots of important training to be conducted for my company.
Okay.
So somehow the company people knows that I'm a good trainer. So what they did is they asked me to take a session for the fresher. We hired for the different engineers freshers. So today I'm gonna take the sessions for them
Mhm.
for a hibernate, and that is the reason their timing is from 9:30. I have to little bit prepare, and then we
Yes.
can continue. So I hope you
Okay.
don't mind,
Thanks.
right?
No, no, I don't mind at all. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.